And welcome back to Queen City Cardboard. Thanks for joining us again. This is episode 3 of Blasphemous. We just finished... let's not say raiding. I'm part of this religious order, so I was borrowing, appropriating, I don't know. We got a thing. It was a pretty thing. It was prettier than other things that we found up to this point. Because most of what we found up to this point are bones. This is a pretty place. Alright, are you there you go. There you go. There you go. Get on that. There you go. Go get him, champ. That's a big mountain. Oh, more things. See? Good camera. I might not have known that there was a surface at the bottom of that. I might have thought there was some puzzle to getting that thing. Nope, just jump down and grab it. Radius of Helzer the Poet. The work of the poet had a sadly posthumous success, especially his poem To the Red Leaf. Whoops. You can freeze frame that later. I am going to spend some time later and try to piece together this place.
Penitent one in silence, you stand before what remains of Gemino. Oh, do not fret for me. The cold is merciful, for it relieves our pain and numbs us before it leads us to our deaths. Perhaps the miracle the others spoke of has come to me, here in this iron tomb. Lengthening this to a promised land, you direct your march to the place where the frozen and the burning embrace in communion. Let me ask of you the favor of bringing me a few drops of the oils that once came out of these icy olive trees, the ones that ended up scorching the faces of every pious person who ever reached the summit. As my last wish, before it is too late for me, let me feel that pain. Take this.
Empty golden
Now,
thimble.
let my numbed arm become another branch of this withered olive tree. Hurry up. I can still hear the call.
Thimble adorned with gold carrying an inscription that reads, "Only cold gold can carry the redeeming oil." Number 1. A young villager named Aurea had such a beautiful and pious face that even as a child, statue sculptors took her as a model for their creations. Her face became so recognizable that little by little, people took her as the living, breathing image of divinity, until it reached a point where they ended up taking her out on procession and even replacing their own images. Such was the fervor around her that she could not bear to be mistaken with divinity, and burned her face with boiling oil to give her pious... That is sad. More sadness. Why all the sadness? Oh wait, yeah, Soul's Life. The tree fellow didn't look like he was having too good a day either. He seems resigned to the transformation, guess just wants to get it over with, which is understandable. And the climb begins. Nope. Wait, what just happened? Did I just clip from like 4 feet underneath the cliff back up to the cliff? Oh well, details. I'm the chosen one, I do what I want. Give me that baby! I'm coming for you, baby. Or not. Give me back my sword, baby. erring in his penance. Alright, so I'm atoning, I myself am atoning for someone, or something, or someplace. I don't know. I didn't finish the entirety of Hollow Knight, but I did watch Playframe finish it, and I'm getting a lot of parallels. I'm undergoing a quest initiated by somebody else. I'm a silent protagonist, but there's still... the fact that I'm me still matters. Does that make sense? This character, even though they're silent, has plot relevance, even if they're, by design, a blank slate. Well, crime in Italy. How do I get back over there and get the fragment without falling into another pit? There we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Does anybody know where the phrase crime in Italy came from? That's a weird and probably not cool phrase. I apologize for that, but when I was a kid, for the longest time, I didn't realize that it was a phrase. I didn't realize it was crime in Italy. I thought crime in Italy was one word. Because I was a hillbilly, apparently. Incense garlic. Confessions of Tirso, Part 6. Ever since then, our pious kisses have saved hundreds from the affection of the miracle that ravages these lands, and from then on our congregation has been called that of the Kissers of Wounds. Was Tirso the name of the person back in town? I know he was a representative of that group, that order. A bit unsanitary, but at least they're trying to do good. Trying to help people. Oh, that's new. Snow shark! Get the snow shark! Get the snow... Ow! Get the snow shark! A lot of frozen bells. My God, that's a lot of bells. Do you need that many bells? What am I talking about? They're churches. Of course they need that many bells. Can't tell if they're different sizes or not. I mean, if they're different sizes, making different tones, then I could see the... not necessity, but the aesthetic? Yeah. I used to play bell choir when I was in church when I was a kid. My aunt directed. Ugh. Dodge bombs. I guess we're still in the learning phase, though. Nothing wrong with that. Death is apparently a slap on the wrist here. Okay, in the fervor meter, the blue bar where I get my magic points normally, you can see there's a little like thorny vines wrapped around part of it. So when you die, you have to recover that guilt in order to fuel your fervor. Which thematically makes sense. That's a nice little touch. That they settled on those descriptors, because the worse you feel about your own mission, your own ability to achieve your goals, the harder it is to get the fervor, get the motivation, get that drive to complete your own goals. Like slaughtering the unpious. And whatever these things are. See, this is why you bolt the casket shut when you bury people. footage. Can we just agree that past versions of ourselves are the most annoying people in the world? Watch old videos, old photo albums, reminisce with friends, and go, oh my god, what was I thinking? What was wrong with me? How was I ever that thick? There we go. There we go. See? Learning. I love learning and not dying. But really, you play through these levels enough times, and eventually getting through them becomes second nature. I've recorded a lot of footage before I started recording the audio for these. And it gets to the point where you just start... You don't even kill the enemies necessarily. You just run the gauntlets to get where you need to be. And it's a good feeling. I've heard similar things described in other Souls-like games, or the Dark Souls series themselves. It's a good feeling. It's rough going through those initial stages and just getting butchered by little minions. Ooh, you're new. That's an interesting design. Is the ghost tethered to the bell? Ow. I mean, obviously they're connected, but is the ghost supposed to be dragging the bell, or is the bell like an anchor for the ghost to stay in this world? But as I was saying, it feels rough in the early stages, as we're clearly observing, dying over and over again. But once you figure it out, once you solve the puzzle, once it clicks, and you're like, oh, I know how to get around this, then you just feel like a superhero. Jumping over, dodging through bad guys like they don't even exist. Just need to keep that mindset, keep the faith, so that I can get through this and beat more bosses. Because let me tell you, there's one coming up that's... Well, if you ever played a game like this, I probably don't need to tell you, because that's the whole point of these games. These alchemists were a lot of trouble, though, too, in my opinion. Because there's a delay between when they jump and when they do the wind-up for their bomb throw, and when they actually throw the bomb, and they track really well. So if you dodge too early, they're just gonna throw the bomb where you are instead of where you were. Like some kind of smart person. There you go. See? Nothing to it. Ah. Easier done than said once you know how. Round 2. Round 2 goes to go. Just let me get my guilt back, because that's a good thing. No? No, we're gonna... Okay. We'll catch you later. What do we got next? Ooh, look, more mountain. Graveyard of the Peaks. This is an ordeal. I'm fine. I'm fine. I know how to jump. I was practically raised by Mario. Hey, stop blocking. That's a very heavy sword. That's a heavy looking sword. Guess he didn't hit me. That's good. You know what's coming. Wow! Strike and two-step, strike and two-step, strike and two-step. Now you know how to do the mea culpa march. I apologize for nothing. Oh, another one of you. Is this one's bell a different color? Or is it just the environment? Oh, oh. That's got some knockback. This is not a place... Ah! This is not a place where you want knockback to happen. There you go. They always fall eventually. Just learning those patterns, learning those movements. And up and up and up. Where to go? We're getting there. We're getting up. We're getting up the mountain of madness. You critters are just no fun. Oh. Good thing you can intercept those while they're occipital of tequila. The metalsmith. Tequila was not your everyday metalsmith. Skulls were the basis of his creations, with jeweled skulls his specialty. His last wish was to become the most beautiful piece in his collection. So, okay, so you had an apprentice do it, and you wrote up the plans? I'm thinking too much about this, aren't I? That's morbid. Although I guess anything can be art if you try hard enough. It's all a matter of perspective. Speaking of art, look at those faces in the mountains. That is pretty. If unsettling. Empty bile vessel. Oh wait, that's the thing that carries your health recharges. Vessel made of crystal and gold, capable of holding the hallowed bile that emanates from the morning fountains. Get up and tell us what you witnessed, said the scribe, without averting his gaze from the paper. I received an order from the exhumation of a penitent who had been buried about a year ago, answered the gravedigger. He was well loved in Albaro, and many parishioners approached his grave. But when I dug him up, we saw blood coming from a crack in his sarcophagus, blood red as wine. Those who were there rushed to open the lid of the coffin and carried him on their shoulders, watching as blood gushed out from its side. Others ran to their houses, searching for buckets and bottles to keep all that blood that wouldn't stop flowing out. And on that delightful note, we're going to call it for this episode. We're going to call it here and learn more about what fuels the penitent, what their ultimate goal is, and how high this flippin' mountain is. Goodness. Alright, I will see you next time, and as always, play to learn, play to live. And aren't we learning and living?